us every Wednesday at 5 p.m. for Likkle Byte Ideas, where we discuss how Likkle ideas are transformed into big dreams. On the toolkit, and you will access a lot of resources. A lot of the information that we presented here today, there are a lot of activity sheets, so we encourage you to download some of that information. Also, there's a digital swag bag with
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am not sure what's happening with my camera today, but I'm hoping you can hear me. And I am so glad that we're here today for another Likkle Byte Ideas. And today I'm by my lonesome. It's usually myself. So this is Megan Samuel Fields. And it's usually myself and my sister, Doreed Whitlock. But unfortunately, Doreed is not feeling too well today. And so she is under the weather. So I will be your host today for our Likkle Byte Ideas. And I had my camera on just before we joined. I'm not sure what just happened, but somehow I am not seeing my camera. So I don't know if my technical person could do anything in the background, but hey, we're live. And so the show has to go on. So today, this is so weird. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing myself. Today, we are with a very, very important person. Her name is Shamir Jilks. And Shamir, she is representing ECAB. She's a loans officer from ECAB, Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank. And for those of you who have been following us, you know this month is Financial Information Month. And we started off with Cassandra Simon. Cassandra was the newly elected chairperson for ACB Mortgage and Trust. We had some Cassandra on speaking about some very, very down-to-earth tips on how we can become more financially responsible, more financially literate. And then we had Mrs. Carol Ford Harrigan. She is the country manager of the ECCB agency office here in Antigua. Last week, we had two persons from the credit union family. We had Jennifer White. She's the general manager of St. John's Cooperative Credit Union. And we had Phoenix Belfield from the Dominica Cooperative Credit Societies League. And we had a very, very interesting conversation. So what we are going to do today is we are going to be bringing in a bank to speak about financial literacy. So I would like to welcome Shamir Jilks. Shamir, welcome.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks for having me.
I am so glad that you're here.
Hi, Megan. I just wanted to say thanks for having me. I hope Doreed gets better and we can see her on next week's installment of the show. Not sure.
Good. I think I'm on now.
Yes,
great.
you were out for a bit.
Yes,
talking to myself there.
I was hearing you, but it was as if you couldn't hear me. So
no, I couldn't hear or see you.
Well, I'm so glad that you're here, and
Yes, very happy to be here.
great. And then you can see me and I can see you. Excellent.
Yes, success.
Exactly. Technology will always do its thing
It's real. It's real.
at the worst time.
Tell me
So,
about it.
so Shamir, thank you so much for being here today.
No problem
We
at
are
all.
wrapping up Financial Information Month. And as I mentioned earlier, we had different persons from different areas within the financial field, but we didn't have anyone from the bank. So I knew we needed to wrap it up with having the bank's perspective.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So tell me a little about your bank, the Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank.
So the Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank, we just celebrated our 12th anniversary this month.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yes,
Already?
it's been 12 years. Yes.
I remember when it
12 years.
started.
Yes. So we've come a
Wow.
long way. We've gone through the ECAP acquisition. We're currently going through the Scotiabank acquisition. So we're building bigger and better.
And you also had a bit of the Abib acquisition.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yes,
All
we've come a
right.
long way.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your 12th year.
Thank you, thank you.
All right.
Could not have done it without the customers, of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so important. So tell me, ECAB, it has, over the years, the 12 years, has grown
Yes.
and has
Yeah.
definitely made it its mark in Antigua. What are some of the services you offer?
So we offer a number of financial services, and just piggybacking on the theme for this Financial Information Month, it's empowerment through education. So the goal really is to educate our customers. So educating them about what we offer, what you can do, all the processes that are involved in just making your banking experience better. We like to say an educated customer is our best customer.
I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. So some of the financial services that ECAP offers are mortgages. We offer for new construction, purchases, as well as switching from another financial institution. We offer student loans, land loans, personal loans for a various number of reasons, credit cards, small business loans, commercial loans, checking accounts, and a number of savings account options.
So you offer everything, including the kitchen sink.
Yes, everything, whole thing. One-stop
right.
shop.
Okay. So here at SFCG, we focus a lot on financial literacy, on financial well-being, on financial planning, and financial goal setting.
Yes.
We believe that we really have a responsibility to ensure we democratize financial literacy. And I know we were speaking earlier, and we did speak about, very briefly, about financial goals. What are your thoughts on, and perhaps ECAB's views, if you can speak for ECAB, on financial goals, and perhaps what your customers can do in ensuring they have financial goals and how they can achieve them?
So, as you said, Megan, it's just helping the customers to achieve their financial goals. And it's just little steps that you can take, some maybe bigger than most, but
Little
steps. Yeah, little.
Exactly.
Just steps you can take to help get you where you want to be. The decisions that you make today will determine your tomorrow. So you just want to try and make the best decisions that you can to ensure your future is better. Sometimes you just don't know. We live in a society, yes, and things that you may think are common knowledge, it's not. So we just need to educate our customers, or we're trying to educate our customers a bit better so they're aware of the things that they can do to help to achieve their goals.
Excellent.
So one of the number one things we would recommend is establishing a savings plan. That's one of the best things that you can do for your future. No matter how much you're earning, no matter how big or little your salary is, you should establish a savings habit. Putting something aside, no matter how small you may think it is. What they say, one full basket.
Or
So
lickle.
yes, little fill basket. So it's just getting into the habit of saving, getting into the habit of paying yourself first. So setting up a standing order, we at ECAP can do that for you. You can, okay, this is my salary, I get paid monthly. I want to set aside $50 a month. We can automatically transfer that to a savings account for you. So it's taking the burden off of you that, okay, you have to remember to save that, or leave it in your account, or, try not to touch it. Just making things a bit easier so that the customers can achieve their goals. So sometimes you just need a little help, a little push.
Yes.
To get where you need to be.
And I like the idea of the standing order, because lots of times it's when it's out of your mind, so it's out of your account, you don't even see it.
Yes.
But sometimes it's when you see it, that's when the trouble starts.
That's when it's that itch that you need to use it.
Yes. So let me find out. So you have, let's say a customer has a savings account, a regular savings account.
Yes.
You would encourage them to have a standing order where they take money from their general savings account, or it could be a checking account.
Yes, their salary account.
Or their salary account.
Yes.
Is there a cost for that?
There is a cost, but you can also do it online and set it up online as well. There is a cost. I believe it's about $5, but it's something that we're working on, improving our services.
Okay.
So it's a work in process, but it's something that you can do. We would also recommend having 2 savings accounts. I recommend that. One for your immediate savings and a second for your long-term goal saving. Life happens. It is what it is. You can't plan for everything. You might drive down the road and your tire puncture. Some parts of your vehicle need fixing. Yep. So what we recommend is an immediate savings. So the one you're touching when these incidents happens, the one that you're going to when you have a little, you're falling short a little, and then your major goal savings account where you're saving towards maybe child's college education, maybe owning a home, or you want to go on a cruise, whatever it is that you have in your long-term goal plan or your long-term goal planning, just kind of separating it so it's just easier for you to manage. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you get into the groove of doing it, it makes your life run a lot easier, in my opinion.
Yes. And the one thing I would say as well, and I'm saying it from a place of maturity, because I've been there, done that as a young person. The earlier you do it, and forget about it. It's the forgetting about it part. So in as much as there might be a cost with the standing order, there is something about when you don't see it and you it's just not in your mind anymore.
It's not in your mind, yeah.
The earlier you can get into that habit of setting up your standing orders and forget about it and just let that money grow for whatever it is you need to do, whether it's a house, as you said, or your children's education. The main thing is to start early and leave it alone.
Exactly.
Leave it alone. And I'm telling you from experience, leave
it alone.
Okay.
The leaving it alone also goes to my next point. In terms of home ownership, if your goal is to save towards owning your own home, what I normally recommend is to save your mortgage payment. So let's say we do the calculations, we have a conversation with you, and your mortgage payment is going to be $1,500. You're not there yet. you're not ready, you're still in the planning stages, you don't have your plans, what you can do from now is start saving that 1,500 as a payment. And just as a payment, when you pay the bank the money, you can't get it back. So you have to look at that savings in the same light. So that 1,500 as your practice mortgage payment is going over to your savings, and it stays there. You're not touching it, just like how you would not get back that money from the bank. So same thing, don't touch it.
So that leads me to a question.
Sure.
So let's say there's a young person who wants to own their homes, and I hope that's most young people's dreams, to own your home, have a piece of the rock.
Yes.
They haven't yet gotten to the stage where, as you said, they don't have their plans and things like that. Would you at your bank entertain conversations with them for them to know in advance, okay, you're thinking about building a home, these are the things you would need to do even before they come to you to say, I want a loan? Is there any type of pre-planning, pre-discussions that they could have with perhaps the loans officers so that they would kind of know beforehand what's required?
Yes, we actually encourage it, because what you don't want the customer to already go to DCA, already have the plan and have an approved plan for something that $1 million house that you're, based on your salary, you would not qualify for. So we actually want the customers to come into us, sit down over the telephone, have a conversation. We're open to both, even email. We're whatever medium is best for the customer, or more the customer likes more. You prefer face-to-face, you may prefer telephone, you may prefer email, and just kind of getting to them using their salary, etc., to see what they qualify for. So a young person coming into me, first conversation, we're talking about salary, what their dreams are, what their goals are, and me basically calculating for them, or us at ECAP calculating for them what they could possibly qualify for. Of course, these things change because, upward mobility, you may get a raise in a few years. We're not limiting you, but just so you have a starting point, that you have an idea, okay, this is what the bank is looking for. This is where I am. This is what I need to do to get to where I need to be. So it's just having the conversation. We know you're not ready yet. We get that. We're not expecting you to come back tomorrow or next year. Hey, these are my plans. So we definitely entertain that. We definitely love that. We love when you visit us first, talk to us first, so we can get you on the right track before you jump in and, pay an architect and you're already spent money at DC and you're like, wait, no, I can't get this. I can't get what I want because I don't qualify, or I can't get what I want because of whatever other reason that there may be. So having a conversation is definitely what we at ECAP encourage.
And even on the flip side as well, some people, a conversation like this might be just what they need to get their heads on straight, to realize your fancy dreams are not realistic right now. Not to say that later on, perhaps things could improve, but for right now, if you want a house, let's keep it real. You can't get the 3-story pool and jacuzzi.
Not yet.
Right. And I think that's I like that, because sometimes it's just to get the information that would help young people to make certain decisions, because as we have realized, there isn't enough on financial literacy at schools, and even young persons and even adults. And so lots of times we make assumptions and decisions that are not necessarily based on proper, sound financial advice, financial understanding. You just go with what you believe. I'll tell you, I was speaking with someone recently, and they were considering getting a loan. And so they asked me what I thought. And I said, well, you have to be careful because you have to look at your existing commitments
Right.
as well as the amount of money you're bringing in. And the person said, well, the property I want to purchase, the bank can use it as collateral. So I don't see why it would be a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've had those kinds of.
Many times. Many.
Yes. Yeah. So do you want to speak about that? Because I think that is something people need to
Sure.
understand, the whole aspect of collateral and what it's for and what it's not for.
Yes, sure. So there are two major, I guess, aspects in attaining a loan. So we're talking about secured loans, not unsecured loans. So the bank looks at your salary. So what we call is your total debt service ratio. So what total debt service ratio is the percentage of your salary versus the amount of payments that you have. So those payments can include if you have a loan at another financial institution or courts, fast cash, Accel, any of those things, not just the traditional banks or credit unions. If you have a credit card somewhere, we also consider that payment into what your monthly payout is. So from that aspect, what the bank is looking at is most of your salary should not be going towards payment because you have to live. You can't live on 20% of your income. So what we do, we have a ratio. It varies depending on the customer. So a mortgage customer would have a higher threshold in their debt service ratio versus a customer who doesn't have anything, or a customer who's just getting maybe auto loan. So that's what the bank looks at. So it's a percentage of your salary that we can use towards payments.
Mm-hmm.
The collateral part comes in, is what the bank is using for what we call security. So we also use a percentage of that. I don't know if I want to get into the numbers. I don't want to.
No, I don't think it's
bogged
necessary.
down with
Just
the
to
info.
understand in general.
Right. So those two things have to work together. So you may just want to borrow, I don't know, $100,000, and your property is worth $1 million. I love the million. Your property is worth $1 million. However, you may have other loans with us or at another institution that has already met your debt service ratio. So even though the collateral is there, you're like, oh, but my property is worth $1 million and I just want 100,000. The salary part of it is the part that's not connecting. So it's always two things at hand. Your salary, which is your total debt service ratio, and the collateral being used to hold the loan if it's a secured loan.
Right. And I always say that, banks, yes, they get collateral, they hold on to the collateral, but your main focus is not collateral. Your main focus is to get back the money you borrowed.
Yes, we want you to pay, everyone. We want you to pay. We don't want to take anything back. We want you to pay. So
see that we're speaking about mortgages and so on. Can you tell me what would you consider to be the benefits of getting a loan? And then to tag on to that, are all debts bad? Do we have good debts and do we have bad debts?
Okay. So the benefits of attaining a loan is, of course, use the bank's money, not your own. I know a lot of us have heard this over the years, and some may feel different ways about it, but it's using the bank's money to get what you need and not your own. The reasoning behind that is for those of us who are avid savers or committed savers, how long it takes to get you to that goal. It wasn't overnight that you built your savings. Normally it's over years, months, whatever the time may be. It took you a while to get to where you are in your savings goal. When you use all that money, so to make a major purchase or to complete a project or to start a project, what you're doing is depleting your little cushion. The little fallback that you have is no longer there. So God forbid something happens, you need to access cash quickly, your savings has been depleted to purchase a vehicle, let's say, whatever it is that you needed at the time, you use your savings for. Savings is not there. What using a loan does is you're paying back over time. I mean, yes, there's interest, it's the opportunity cost, but your savings is still there. And a lot of times I know people say, oh, well, I can pay it back the same time. Realistically, that does not happen often. So a customer can pay a loan for 3 years and be done with it, or 5 years and be done with it. But having that same savings track for the 5 or 3 years, it's very hard to do. Because as I said, once you pay the bank, you're not asking for it back. It's gone. So you're making your payments, yes, but you still have your savings cushion there. So in the event something happens, you have that fallback to catch you.
Right. Okay. That's good. And what about debts or loans? Are they all bad? You know, there's some people who say, should never get a loan.
I mean, I don't think so. We use debt to get what we cannot get as quickly, I guess. I mean, how many people can buy a house cash? I certainly cannot. So it's just a way to help you achieve your goal. So loans for things that appreciate. So houses, land, always a good thing. I mean, you can't lose. You're owning your own home, or you're purchasing an apartment to rent, whatever it is that you're doing with your funds, you're gaining an asset with it as well. In terms of vehicle, I know the vehicles depreciate. However, you are using that vehicle to get you where you need to go. You know, our bus system here is not the most reliable. So
especially in some areas.
Yes, exactly. Some people, the bus doesn't even come their way. So a vehicle is a necessity, and maybe not an appreciating asset. It does what it needs to do and gets you to where you need to go. Student loans as well. I mean, it's not there's no physical asset, but knowledge, empowering your child or whoever it is in your life. You can't take, once you have the knowledge, that's it. You can't take it away, and it opens up so many doors for you. So absolutely. Loans are not a bad thing. It's how you use it, and using it to achieve the things in life to get you forward. As I said, your home, a piece of land, education, it's getting you to a place that is better, is improving your life, improving your standing, just making you meet those goals that you have in mind.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I can attest. My first degree, my undergrad degree, I wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't get a student loan. So, yeah, and I think it paid off.
Yes,
so,
yes, it definitely has. I mean, education is very important. I said you can't
absolutely
put a price tag on it. So that's what we're here for. We're here to help you achieve those goals. Like the ECAB's goal, our goal here is to try and make the process as simple as we possibly can. Yeah. I mean, we know, we understand borrowing is a big, big step, major. Even me, who I do this every day, it's still a major step for me, borrowing on my own. But I mean, it's to get you where you need to be. And we here at ECAB we're here to guide you through that process and get you where you want to be, letting you understand the steps that you need to take to get where you want to be.
Right. And I think that comes back to what we said earlier about our goals, because if we know what our goals are, so we want to, let's say, get our degree, we want to go off to college, and so we know that that's a goal we want to achieve, and so it means along the way we may very well have to get a loan.
Yes.
But if you look at the bigger picture, you may not be someone who wants to get a loan. I'm hoping for the day and working towards the day when I can say I am debt free.
Debt free.
But
I'm with you.
But I know I need debt in order to get certain things. And the goals that I have in mind, I need to have the debt to get those goals.
Yes.
So I know there are lots of people who generally don't like to even hear the word loan, debt. They're bad words. And perhaps in some instances they are. But for me, I think the more important thing is to look at your goal. What's your financial goal? Is it your goal to have a house by the time you are 45 or whatever age? And recognizing that based on your income, you may not be able to pay for that house cash, but you may be able to get a loan that will help you to get there. And let's keep it real, the bank cannot lend other people's money to you unless they charge you interest.
Yes.
So it's a business, but
It
again,
is.
you have to look at the goals. So for me, it all depends on what it is you want out of life,
Right.
and what your goals are, and then determine whether it's worth getting a loan.
I mean, debt is a stepping stone. You can look at debt as a stepping stone. It's just what
Or it should be.
Yes, it should be a stepping stone just to get you where you need to be. As you said, Megan, just getting you there, getting you that education, getting you that house, getting you that car. It's just a stepping stone. And once you step on that stone, you step up further. It's just continuous growth. So it's not a bad word. Loans are not a bad word. Debt is not a bad word. It's just getting you to where you want to, you need to, you see yourself being.
And how you manage that debt.
Correct. Correct.
It's in the not managing the debt, but it's when it becomes a bad word.
Yes, that's when
the debt becomes like an albatross around your neck. You're not, perhaps didn't have the savings habits that we spoke about, because I think that's where it all starts.
It does.
The little habits you start, making sure you save on a regular. So when it's time to make these mortgage payments, it's not
brand new
because you've been saving all along. You have your habits already in place,
and you have that cushion. So it's still not depleting your savings to make those major purchases, because if something happens, you still need that little cushion that's there to back you up, just in case. I mean, we just had we're still in the pandemic. I mean,
exactly.
Just had, but
we're hoping we're coming out.
Yes, slowly.
Yes,
slowly.
Yes.
So it's just learning and growing and just doing things a little, I say, little by little. And sometimes, I know we don't want to hear this, I know, but sometimes it's just delayed gratification and a little more conscious spending. I'm not saying don't spend, not saying don't live your life. We just went through 2 years of not life being as it was. So not saying that at all, but just being more conscious of of what you're spending your money on, how much you're spending on it. Because sometimes we just don't know. Sometimes we're like, okay, going to the supermarket, especially now, you pick up 2 things and $500 or $600. So it's just being a little more mindful, like, maybe I don't need to get strawberries. Maybe I can get the apples or get the local mango instead. It's just being conscious of what you're spending money on, because money goes. Oh, absolutely. Money goes so fast.
And what we say a lot at SFCG, it's a lot about your lifestyle and your mindset. Yes. And they go hand in hand, because you have to be telling yourself certain things. You have to be building up certain habits and certain types of ways of living before you can actually live the life you want.
Yes.
So it starts in the mind, and then you have to put things in action to then have the lifestyle.
Absolutely correct.
I strongly believe that a lot of it comes back to our little financial habits, back to learning how to save. You see this, what you said about delayed gratification, it is so important. I'm all for having a good time. My second or third name is fun, but there needs to be a balance. And we speak a lot about the financial wheel, which I have behind of me, because everything needs to be in balance. And so, yes, you want to be financially well, but you have to be spiritually well, emotionally, physically. You got to take care of yourself.
It's a holistic view.
Exactly. And I think that is how we should be in everything. But if you're looking at trying to make a big purchase, something memorable, something important, it means we're going to have to tighten our belts a bit, make some changes. So perhaps for the young people who want to buy, you must buy a car. I'm not going to tell you not to buy a car, but maybe you just need a vehicle to get you from A to B.
Yes, maybe you can get a used car. Yeah,
maybe a used car, because you're saving for something big, something bigger. So a lot of it comes down to the habits that you create. And I think the earlier you create good financial habits, going to the supermarket, I can tell you, if I don't have a list, I have to be careful.
Yeah, you just pick up everything.
Because you always see things that you need, that you think you need. But the way I do it, I have my list and I tell myself, if it's not on the list, I don't need it.
You don't need it.
And so just little things like that, if we continue to do these kinds of things, we can achieve our financial goals.
Most definitely.
So we have a few comments. I'm going to go to the comments. But when I come back, Shamir, I want to ask you about a tagline I've heard ECAB use a lot. And that is, think outside the bank.
No problem.
I find it very fascinating. So we're just going to look at the comments and see if there are any questions. So we have Kara. She says, get well soon, Dee. I think Dee should be on listening, but she is really under the weather. So we are hoping you get better, Dee. We want you back here next week.
Get well soon.
Absolutely. Our favorite regular, our mother, Miriam Samuel, says good afternoon. And wow, our brother,
good afternoon.
Clement Samuel says good afternoon. Hi, Clement. And somebody knows you, Shamir. Malvi Joseph Bartley says, great job, Shamir. So proud of you.
Thank you.
And we have greetings from Janice Davis Asidu. Janice is a schoolmate. And hi, Mona. We missed you a few weeks. Glad to see you back. Right. So we don't have any questions yet, but if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We're speaking with Shamir, and she is telling us about banking, what we need to do, how the bank can help us, what they do to keep us on track. And so my question to you, Shamir, is tell me a little bit more about your tagline, think outside the bank.
So thinking outside the bank, we've mentioned the pandemic a few times. It's just right there in my head. So I know we all remember when everything was closed. I think even the banks were closed in the beginning. And then when we had that, I think it was a 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock curfew. So the banking hours were cut in half. I know we were doing half staff to get, because we had to limit the number of persons in branch. So we've just went through a huge limited time that customers could have access to the bank, to the branches. So what we're trying to get customers to see, or what we're trying to get customers to utilize, is our alternate delivery channels. So alternate delivery channels are not the teller, not anything that you have to come inside the bank to do. So it's our ATMs, our online more banking platform, just letting customers know what you can do using these platforms. You don't necessarily always have to come, stand in line, wait in line at the bank. With our ECAB more banking / online banking platform, it's offered to all our customers. You can utilize it with our More Banking app and our More Banking website, you're able to check your balance. You can do transfers between your accounts. You can do what we call peer-to-peer transfers. So if the customer has an ECAB account, we can also transfer to them. You can transfer to other institutions, not within ECAB, so credit unions or other banks. You can transfer to them. You can pay your bills online. You can pay AP Wave, Flow, a number of institutions as well. You can do that online. You don't have to come into the bank to utilize those. You can even transfer to someone in another island. Once it's an EC territory, if you have, I don't know, a brother in St. Kitts who needs some funds, you can do what we call an EFT transfer, which is an electronic funds transfer to their account. So you don't necessarily have to send a wire. You can do that from the company. You can do it at any time at home. Don't have to visit the branch to do that at all. So it's just empowering the customers that, the bank is just not a building. The bank is you. The bank, you can bank on your phone. You can bank on your tablet. You can bank on your desktop. You don't necessarily have to physically be here all the time. And you don't have to utilize just the regular banking hours as well. You can, I think we have the most ATMs on island. I think I'm confident in saying that.
So how many do you have?
Location wise, I think about 7 locations, but there are a number.
I know of 3. Locations. I guess the 3 I use.
We have at all the branches. So
right. So I don't go into town. I try not to go into town. So those would be 2 more.
Those are, we have at First Choice, Epicureum.
You have a First Choice? I didn't know that.
In the corner, all the way down in the corner.
Okay. Good to know.
Yes. So you have access to your money. You have access to your funds outside of the regular 8 to 2 banking hours. So it's just letting customers know, hey, it's not scary. It's you can use it. It's safe. We monitor it. There's security features in place to ensure that it's safe for you, because we don't want somebody to use your money either. So there are things in place to ensure that it's you that's doing it. Additional safety features, so you're not easily hacked. So it's just getting customers comfortable with the platform. You can pay your credit card online. There's a number of things you can do. For our legacy ECAP customers, you can send wires online. You necessarily do not have to come into the bank if you don't want to. So it's giving customers the option of not having to wait in line. I know during COVID, we're limited the banking, the number of customers in the bank as well. So you have to wait outside, and it's hot, so very hot. So we want you to use it. We have developed these systems. We work with them. We use them ourselves, and I'm in the bank, still in the bank. And, I use my online banking a lot. The tellers can confess to that. I use the ATM. Even during banking hours. So we're not sending you to something that we're not using ourselves. Right. We utilize them all the time, daily. I check my balance on my phone. I use the app. It's my go-to, and I'm here all the time.
Well, it's so interesting because one of our guests last week said you should never let what did he say? Something bad. He was referring to the pandemic.
Okay.
And he basically saying you should never let a pandemic go to waste. You should see how you can benefit from it. And from what you're saying, as a result of COVID, you at the bank recognized that you had to do things a little differently and try to get people could get to their services, banking services, without actually physically coming into the bank.
I mean, a lot of these, or most of them, were in place before the pandemic, but
Okay.
customers now have a better appreciation of it, or we can
Right.
better show them, hey, remember what happened a couple of years ago? This is
Okay.
how you can, so it's an easier sell, for lack of
Right.
a better word. It's an
Well,
easier conversation than
I
pre-COVID.
get that. I get that. I mean, I just after COVID, I used to get anxious when I had
Hmm.
to go to the bank and the line was wrapped
It
around.
was
Like, no
crazy.
way. No
It was
way.
half staff. It was insane.
So I made sure if I had to do anything, ATM it was after working out. That's the thing. After working hours, but before
Mhm.
curfew.
Before curfew.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like
Crazy
waiting.
times. Crazy times.
Let's hope we're on our way out. Let's
I
hope we're
have
on
to.
our way
I
out.
can't go back.
Okay, so we've spoken about think outside the bank. We've spoken about ECAB. Are there any, perhaps, I don't know if they're new, but any types of programs that ECAB offers its customers? I'm going back to financial literacy
Mhm,
and
mhm.
financial understanding. Is there anything that ECAB does to help its customers to become more financially literate?
So, upcoming, piggybacking again on our Financial Information Month theme, empowerment through education, the bank will be launching a few seminars. Um, one of them will be geared towards what we just spoke about, online banking and mobile
Mhm,
banking. So
mhm,
what that seminar will be doing, or hoping to do, is to get customers more comfortable with using our more banking platform, our online banking platform.
okay.
Letting customers know, okay, you can pay your credit card on this, on the app as well. You can do the amount of things that you, because some people just don't know. They don't know what you can do with the app. They don't know what you can do using the platform. So what we want to do is just information seminars, letting the customers know it's okay, you can use it. We're here to help you use it, and these are the steps that you take. And if you have any questions outside of the seminar, of course, we're always here to help,
Mhm.
to answer. We're here to help. The second seminar that we're going to be launching is a small business seminar. It's geared towards small business owners. Small business is a market that you need to keep close. Um, a lot of people have great ideas and great plans, but it's just the financing part, or the financial planning part of it, that they may not be too savvy in. So
Mhm.
of course we work with our customers and understand their needs, and when we see there's a gap, as in with the small business, we're hoping to fill that, or help to fill it with education. So
Nice.
as I said, geared towards small business, just helping them to achieve their financial goals, helping them to understand what the bank looks for when they want to attain financing. Little things, registering your business,
Mhm.
getting a business account, things like that, that all of us do not know, are all persons who are hoping to attain their business, or currently even run their own small business, may have taken for granted. Like, oh, I don't want to pay inland revenue, so I'm not registering my business. But then when you need financing, the bank is like, okay, how do we know that this is a real business?
Mhm.
We need a little more. So it's just bridging the gap and helping the
Nice.
customers to understand, or just get in the back of their heads, what it is that you need to, again, achieve your goals. What is it that you need to grow your business? What you need to get better financing? If you so many things you can do with your business. It's just educating the customers and letting them know what we offer, how to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And so these seminars, will they be in person or will they be webinars?
We're still debating that. The
Okay.
pandemic is not over. So but definitely, once we have everything in place, ECAP will definitely let the public know the dates, and the forums that we will have these in. I'm not sure if it's going to be in person, or as you said, a webinar, or
hybrid.
Or a hybrid seminar, or an ongoing thing as well, in terms of in branch, it's constantly being there for the customer. So we're still working out the kinks, but it's definitely something that the public will be aware of.
Great. Well, I applaud you for that. I strongly believe we need to do more of that. And I will say the banks and other financial institutions, I put a challenge out to you to see how you can help your customers to become more financially literate.
Yeah.
I was doing a bit of research, and it said that the more financially literate your customers are, the better it is for the bank, because you have persons, these persons, they're financially literate, so they fully understand the effect of inflation, they understand interest, they understand risk. And so these are the persons you want to be your customers, because they're not going to be the ones to be perhaps missing a payment or making life more difficult for you as the banker. So they were saying, if banks and other financial institutions invest in their customers, it would be an overall benefit for these financial institutions. Yeah.
Definitely. As I said in the beginning, an educated customer is the best customer.
Best customer. Absolutely. So
yes.
I'm looking forward to your seminars, webinars, information that you will be sharing with. And I'm glad you said the public, because there might be some persons on our show today who may not necessarily be ECAB customers. So, but at least it's the public, so they will have an opportunity as well.
Future ECAB customers.
Exactly. Excellent. Okay, we just have a few more comments because we're going to be wrapping up. No questions today, it seems.
Okay.
Abraham Samuel says, good evening. Good evening, Abraham.
Hi, Abraham.
And Arlene Nelson says, very good job, Shamir. Everybody knows Shamir, huh?
Thanks, Mrs. Nelson.
So, Shamir, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
In our show, when we invite guests, so I'm going to take responsibility because I did not tell you of something that we always ask our guests. We always ask our guests to give a little idea.
Okay.
And this little idea, it doesn't have to be, we're speaking about banking and finance, it doesn't have to be, but it could be. But any little idea, because we believe at SFCG, if you have an idea and I have an idea, that's fine. But it's when we bring these ideas together that we can have some eureka moments and perhaps do something really magical with these ideas. So I'm putting you on the spot because I didn't share this with you before, but I believe you are going to be able to come up with a little idea that will be very insightful. So let's hear.
I mean, just what we have been speaking about. As I said, my biggest thing is savings. So my little idea is saving your mortgage payment, and as well as speaking to us. You don't have to impress us. Trust me, you don't have to impress the bank. Just come to us, have a real conversation, because we're there to help you achieve your goals. So my little idea is, don't be afraid to approach the bank. Don't be afraid to have a conversation with us. We understand that you may not be ready. It's okay. As I said, we do telephone, email, in person. We're there. So just reach out to us. We utilize our Facebook. I've gotten Facebook messages from the ECAB Facebook page. They refer it to us. So it's not, your questions aren't going at nowhere. They come to us. We call you, email you, whatever contact information you may have left for us. So it's just reaching out to us and having a conversation. Don't be afraid to contact the bank. Don't be afraid to speak with us.
Love it. Love it. And I have to tell you, Shamir, I did not know that you could do that. I thought I had to have at least certain things in place before I come into the bank to speak about building a house.
No.
So I am quite impressed that I can just have a thought
Yep.
and I know I'm not making the amount of money that I should be making in order to get a loan, but I can come in and just speak to you and you can guide me.
Yes, I can guide you. As I said,
Thank
it starts somewhere. You have to start somewhere.
you. Yeah.
You didn't wake up one day in this big job with access to, no, you started somewhere. You started as a teller. You started somewhere. So it's when you're starting, when you first, you know, your first paycheck, your first job, just starting from then to get where you need to be.
Yes.
And it being your first job, your first paycheck, you don't know what to do. And sometimes even working at the bank, one of my managers, their biggest thing is when new employees come. So when the young tellers come, he always wants to have a talk. Like he wants to have a financial talk with you so you can kind of start achieving your goals, or even if it's not a thought for you, or maybe home, oh, you just start work, you just finished school, owning a home is not really on the forefront of your mind, but he likes to just spark the conversation. So it's now in your head, like, oh, I can own a home. Well,
Exactly.
maybe not now, but 5 years down the line, I can do this. So it's the same thing that we're offering to our customers, just having a conversation, just, even if it's what do I qualify for? I do that all the time, just trying to get the customers an idea of how to begin, where you are, what you need to get to, what you need to do to get to where you need to be or want to be.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So it's 6 o'clock. The time kind of went fast.
Yes, it did. It did.
Yeah. So I want to take the opportunity to thank you so much. Oh, there was a question.
Oh.
What if, I think maybe she didn't finish the question. The question is, what if you had bad habits? I'm assuming, can you still come into the bank and get advice?
Yes, and you can be rehabilitated as well. Maybe something would have gone wrong with life. As I said, life happens. Some things you can't plan for, life just happens. So you may have had a bad credit history previously with the bank. So what we can do is to help you get on a better track. You can start it's never too late to start saving. You can start your savings plan now. You can work towards overcoming the bad history that you had. So it's a work in progress. We have a collections unit. They work with you, or if you know something is going to go bad. Sometimes you can't make this payment. We recommend that you talk to the collections guy and let them make up, do a payment plan with you. Just don't let it go bad, because once it goes bad, it's really hard to rein in.
Yes.
So it's just, again, just having the
conversations.
Yeah.
Yep. Love that. And then we have a last comment from Oren Richards. Hi, Oren. Great show, everyone. Very insightful. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Oren.
you.
So we have come to the end of another very, very interesting show. And we want to thank our guest, Shamir Jilks, for being with us. Shamir, ECAB Personal Banking Officer. Thank you. I have learned, but I love learning. So it's always great when I learn something new. And I hope that our audience learned a few tips. And that little idea that Shamir gave, have a conversation. I support that. Go in and have a conversation, and you might be surprised. It might just get you on the track that you need to get on. And if not you, perhaps your children or your grandchildren, you can have them go in and have a conversation.
Yes.
We are here to ensure that we democratize financial literacy as much as possible, let people understand what's needed, in order to move ahead in life. And whatever we can do to assist, that's what we'll do. So thank you so much, Shamir. I enjoyed this. Sorry
Thank
that
you,
Reed
Megan.
wasn't here, but hey, I think we had a good time.
We did. Thank you so much for having me and for having ECAB here today.
Absolutely. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much to all our guests who are on listening, and we will see you next week. Now, next week, let me make sure I have the right. Yes, next week we'll be in the month of November, and November is Entrepreneurs Month. So we're going to have some entrepreneurs on throughout the month of November. We haven't finalized them as yet, but as usual, they will be exciting, they will be interesting. So I encourage you all to join us next week as we start our month with our entrepreneurs. So that's it. We're out. And thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
Shamir.
No problem. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.